Roland Frasier talks about the 5 exits of a business. If you ever want to sell your business one day, then that's level 5, the full exit. But you need to go through the other 4 stages in order to get there. And I think this framework helps us understand how to build our business and what steps we should be taking next in order to free ourselves up to get to the next level. So level 1 is a technical exit. So let's say we have a graphic design agency for the example of all this. So in your graphic design agency, you're going to be doing work for clients. And let's say you're a very specialized graphic design agency and you just do Instagram thumbnails, pictures and that kind of thing. And that's all you produce for your clients. Then you need to exit that technical work and move up to the next level where you manage someone else who does that work for you. In order to do that, you need 2 things. So the first one is to think about the process that's involved in making your TikTok thumbnail thingies. I don't even know if it's called a thumbnail, but the TikTok images, right? So you make them a certain way and you have a technique to get a certain look, or the way that you do the writing on it, the captions, that kind of thing that you provide for your clients. So you need to write that all down in a process so someone else can pick up the process and you can train them in doing that. To train someone in doing it, you're probably not just going to be able to hand them a list and they'll do it step by step like that. You're going to hand them the list and they're going to work through the items on the list, and then you're going to provide feedback, and that's the coaching and training process where you go backwards and forwards until they get good at performing that single task. If your agency is a little bit more complicated, then the Instagram bits might be one part of your business and another bit might be posters. So you'd have a different process for designing posters and you'd need to exit that too. So sometimes when we exit technical work, we leave one role, but then we move to another role. You might in graphic design be able to make posters and Instagram with the same people. Just for purposes of example, it's understanding that the more services you offer to your clients, the more complicated it is to actually exit this level. Once you're out of the technical level, you need more skills to get to the next level. So that's the second part of exiting a level, is to develop the skills that you need for the next part. So if you're not doing the technical work, then your next role is managing the work. And so that's the manager level. In a graphic design agency, you'd probably call this person like let's say operations for the sake of it. They probably have a fancy name for it. And so the operations person manages the output to the clients, and working with them, they would have like the sales and marketing manager and probably a finance manager who might look after HR and that kind of thing. And so you're moved up to that manager level where you're doing the operations and you're managing the people who are actually doing the work. In your own business, you're probably the sales and marketing manager doing the sales and marketing technical work. So you might manage yourself to put out TikTok reels every day so you can get more clients. And the finance, where you're actually doing the accounts and filing your taxes and everything, but also managing yourself doing that. So you can see that there's multiple boxes that you need to get out of at each level in order to make it to the next level. And so the simpler your business is, the more you just do one thing, the easier it is, but there's still a lot of roles going on. And you can see this is the same if you work in a business. If you want to get promoted out of your job, you need to get out of the technical space of what you're doing and move up to manager level. You need to be able to train someone to do the technical work and also develop the skills of a manager. So the skills of a manager, it may just look like they sit in meetings all day and talk and tell you stuff to do, but really it's about how do you coach and help the people below you to get better. So they're providing training and coaching to the people working for them to improve their skills and make sure that the clients are happy, and at the end of the day they have more responsibility or accountability for the delivery of that product. And so if clients aren't happy, it goes to the manager first, and then they work with the person doing the work to actually sort out what the problem is, fix the process and make it better. So to exit the manager level, we've got, remember, sales and marketing manager, operations and finance. Usually businesses are structured similar to that, maybe with a few more boxes depending on their size. So you move from the operations role up to the CEO role. If it's your own business, you might already be CEO, manager, technical when you start out. So you're trying to just move yourself up the chain. So you're doing more CEO role stuff and not the technical stuff, and less management as you move up. And this takes time. It's not a overnight get rich quick thing. it's a process of building a business. So at the CEO level, you've got, again, you need to teach people how to be an operations manager, how to be a sales and marketing manager, how to be a finance manager, in order that they can take over those roles and do it successfully how you need it to be done in your business so you get results. You also have to develop the new skills of being a CEO. And so that's working with a team at a higher level. So you're a manager of managers now, which is more complicated because you're helping them solve problems with their team. And so you need a deeper understanding and a broader understanding, because now you'll be involved in managing the sales and marketing and the operations and the finance. So you have to understand each of those areas enough that you can actually help understand what's going on and help that person get their role done. You don't need to be an accountant to understand finance, but you need to know what a profit and loss, a balance sheet, cash flow statements are, how to read them, and how to know when things are going wrong, and also how to know that your managers are doing a good job and that you're holding them accountable as well. So that's the CEO level. So you're kind of, if you imagine it, it's kind of like when you think of an org chart, right, with all the different boxes, you're slowly filling out the boxes with other people and moving yourself up. So then you have more time to spend on that part. The next exit is the exciting passive income dream that everyone sells you that they think is so easy. It's a long way away in a business, and it takes a while to get there. Like only 4% of businesses get to $1 million. And so if you think you're going to go and exit it in a couple of years, well, it's not realistic. $1 million won't pay for much of a team. You need to build that up and get your revenue higher in order to exit this level. That being said, from the CEO level, then you go up to the board level. So the board is the governance level that sits above the business, and they're responsible for kind of the external information of what's going on, feeding that to the CEO and hiring and firing the CEO to make sure the CEO delivers the results that the board believes is possible. And so it's a bit of a complicated role that we don't need to get into too much at the moment, but you wouldn't be in the day-to-day work. So the new skill that you need there is to be able to know enough about the business and the industry and what's going on to give them valuable guidance, the CEO valuable guidance on where they should be going. But do that without being in the day-to-day or visiting the office or really knowing anyone who works in the business. So it's a bit of an interesting experience. From the board level, you're then moving up to level 5, which is actually selling the business. So in order to sell the business, you need to make sure that the business is packaged up so someone wants to buy it. They want to buy a business, or they'll buy a business for more money if you have a business that works completely without you. So if you're at the board level and you're literally doing nothing apart from giving advice, then that's a valuable business that you can then sell to someone who wants to buy it. A lot of people are actually in the business and are the graphic designer doing the work for the clients, and they wonder why no one wants to buy their business. It's because you're doing all the work down here. You need to be up several levels so you can walk away and the business won't fall over. Even if you have people doing all the technical work, but you're the great salesperson who sells everything to your clients, and the clients all have the relationship with you, a person buying the business knows, well, if you walk away, maybe half the clients will leave as well. And so we won't have much of a valuable business. And so building value in your business is all about how much you can remove yourself from the process. And this is the difference between being self-employed, I guess, where if you're working in the business, everyone is self-employed. So if you own the business and you're still the CEO, then you're self-employed, or if you're doing technical roles in it as well. When you move up to board level, you actually become a business owner if you own shares in the business. Board members might not have that as part of their compensation. They might just get paid. It all depends on how it's structured. Often there's ownership involved as well. If you're moving up to those levels, you'll retain ownership, but you've got someone else running the business for you. It all depends on the situation. And so you need to make sure that the business is stable, it runs without you, and then it becomes attractive to a buyer because they know that the profits delivered by the business don't rely on the owner who's going to be leaving. And if they can keep everyone else there, and it's easier if the owner wasn't the CEO because they're removed from the business and People might not even know who they are anymore or not have much interaction with them, so it doesn't really matter whether they're there or not. Then that's when you actually have a valuable asset that you can sell, because an asset is something that you put money into it and it makes money for you basically without you doing any work. Like you'd do the same if you bought a rental property and you rented it out. That's an asset, you own the asset and you get money from it all the time. It would be the same for a business. You invest your money into it, you get profits out of it, but you don't actually have to do any of the work involved in it. And I know in a rental property you might end up getting involved in doing maintenance and stuff, but you could hire a property manager. We have a property manager who just does all that stuff and you get the money and you just make decisions, and that's all you have to do. So that's how you build a valuable business, those 5 exits. So think about it for yourself. Technical role, manager role, leadership role is the CEO bit, board, and then exiting the company completely where you sell all your shares so you have no involvement whatsoever.